Hey everyone, Leanne here from Kingdom Bloggers. So in this video, I'm going to show you step by step how to start a Christian blog. Now, lots of people want to start their Christian blogs and their expectation is to hopefully get it monetized with ad revenue like Mediavine and sell products and all the things. But in this tutorial, I am going to show you how to set up your Christian blog from the start so that it has a foundation that will later yield the fruit of success that you're hoping for. So before we get started, be sure to like this video, save this video. If you're not already, follow us here at Kingdom Bloggers so you can stay up to date on all the latest blogging changes, updates, tips, and everything. Okay, let's dive into it. So starting a Christian blog is really a great way to share the gospel in the online space. But it's also a great way to start building a platform for a profitable business. If you are a stay-at-home mom, or maybe you're looking to retire, so I'm kind of in that side of things, and looking for a passive income stream that you can put some work into, but it's still not like a 9-to-5 job, or just to have some extra funds coming into your household while also honoring God in the process and being surrounded by other Christian content creators, then a Christian blog is really a great way to do that. Now, before I dive into the step by step, I want you to understand this is not an overnight kind of success story. If you are needing money right away, this is not the way to get there. It takes time to build this foundation to get it to the point that you can actually start earning income from it. I want to make sure everybody understands that because so many people get into this with unrealistic expectations and then they dump a lot of money into it and then they end up quitting because they're not even able to break even with monthly expenses. Having a website, having a blog will cost you money. Okay, so please understand that coming into it. All right, so let's get started. Before you start buying anything, the first step is to start defining your niche. Like, what is your blog going to be about? Of course, it's a Christian blog, but what does that look like? You need to define a target audience and then do your research on what they are looking for. In the notes below, I'm going to tag my new blogger onboarding series, which is a series of 9 videos that walks you through a lot of things you need to know before you get started. So I'm not going to cover those here in this video, but this is the most important step that almost nobody does. The first step most people do is dive right into building the website. And then you're like, okay, now what? Don't do that. Start with your research. Research. Who am I trying to reach with my content? And what are they looking for? Spoiler alert. If you want your blog to be successful, you can't write about what you want to write about. You can't write about your thoughts and feelings. It's not about you. It's about serving your audience based on what they are physically going to Google for. That's number one. All right. So once you've done that, and this is going to take you a little while, y'all. This isn't like I can just sit down one day and do this. No, you need to really put the effort into this part of it because this creates the foundation for everything else you're going to do. And if you think I don't know what I'm talking about, I have 3 websites that are all monetized. I also help hundreds and hundreds of Christian content creators learn how to get their blogs to doing the same thing. Okay. All right. So define and research your audience. What things are they Googling? What type of content are they looking for? Because at the end of the day, if you want your content to be found, you have to write about things people are looking for. Number 2, learn and understand SEO. SEO is short for search engine optimization. It sounds super scary and technical, but it's actually kind of easy once you understand what it is. SEO is how your content gets found. There's millions and billions, if not whatever the next letter illions is, of pieces of content on the internet. Many of these pieces are kind of writing about the same stuff, right? And so Google has to have a way to sort through all that to make sure when someone Googles something, how does it sift through everything to figure out which one of those answers what they're looking for? So it sort of helps it put it into a filing system. Search engine optimization is vital to the success of your blog being found organically in search results. If you don't take the time to learn it, and I mean really learn it, newsflash, it's not keyword stuffing. Newsflash, it's not one word. A keyword is not one word. So if you think those things, then you don't know what SEO is. SEO is it's complex but simple. I know that's an oxymoron, but there's a style of writing. There's also a way of finding what people are looking for and how to write the content to satisfy that. You must take the time to learn it. I do have a free SEO course that explains like kind of the nuts and bolts and how it works. I will link that below as well. And right here or on the screen somewhere, there'll be a link to it. Please take the time to learn SEO before you do anything else. Do not start building your blog until you have this part done, because once you hit that go button and once you do the things I'm going to talk about next, that the timer starts. So you're paying for things. Don't start paying until you know what you're doing. Okay. So once we've defined our audience, we've taken the time to research them, we've taken the time to learn SEO. Number 3, you need to create a content plan. All that keyword research and everything else. Now everyone's like, really? I got to create a content plan now? Like, shouldn't I build my blog? No. Create your content plan. Every good business, even if you're not planning to monetize, you need to treat this like a business. Create a business plan. This is what I'm going to create. And this is like the different types. So for blog, that is, these are the topics I'm going to write about. And these are the exact blog posts on that. Of course, you're going to have a blog schedule that will depend on your time, of course. So whatever that is, create your content plan first. That way, when you hit that go button, you're ready to go. Okay. So audience, niche, keyword research, SEO, create your content plan. That is literally, if you're publishing 1 post a week or that's your plan, 52 planned blog posts for the next 12 months before you start doing what I'm about to talk to you next. Okay. Now we've done all the research and we are ready to start writing. Now it's time to start working on the physical part of building the website. So the first thing you want to do is decide what platform you're going to blog on. There are so many different platforms out there. WordPress is the one you will hear me talk about. I'll talk more about that here in just a second. But there's also Blogger, Squarespace, Wix, and a whole bunch of new ones popping up everywhere. I will tell you, WordPress, in my opinion, is the best. It has more functionality. You have more control over every aspect of it. A lot of the tutorials you find online to help you in blogging are going to be based on WordPress sites, and they're going to talk about plugins and all these things. And that only works for a WordPress site. So now with WordPress, there's 2 options, WordPress.com and WordPress.org. What's the difference? Now, I have a video for that. It's going to be right here. Okay. What is the difference between the 2? So please watch that video and it'll help break it down. And the outcome of that video is to say WordPress.com with self-hosting is the better option for long-term growth. I actually recommend SiteGround for those just getting started as you're hosting. There's a lot of different ones out there, but not all of them are equal. You want one that has good customer service, good server capacity, and is not known for having a lot of issues. BT Dubs, there is a certain one, and I'll link that in the notes, that notoriously has issues. Don't use that one. But SiteGround's a good one to get started with. Okay, so we are choosing our platform. WordPress.org was self-hosting. We're going to say you chose that, because then there's going to be all the plugins and stuff you'll have to learn about. Now, before I go into number 5, which is build and optimize your site, I do have a step-by-step how to build your site on WordPress tutorial. It's actually a free course. And so I will link that right here. Okay, go back and forth here. My screen is mirrored opposite. So when I point this way, I'm actually pointing the opposite way of what I'm looking at. Anyway. Okay, so number 5, build and optimize your site. Building your site is going to be a lot, especially if you've never done this before. That's okay. That Jesus Online course walks you through, helps you understand what the dashboard looks like, what each of the buttons are for, where you do what, and everything else. So please enroll in that free course. It's going to help answer a lot of your questions. But what are you optimizing? So building your site is physically creating it, but there's a lot that goes into your site before you start publishing blog posts, and most people don't do this. And I call this back-end SEO. This is where you lay out your site structure, your categories. What are your categories going to be? Do you even know what categories are? If not, you should learn that. And then entering all the details in the back end so Google knows what your site is about. I call this sort of like getting your name in the phone book or your website. And then you're going to connect it to Google Search Console and Google Analytics. These are all very, very important steps. And eventually you will submit your sitemap to Google Search Console. This is vital to begin the indexing process of your website. Most bloggers never do this part. Okay, so we've gotten it built. We've gotten it optimized. Again, I have plenty of tutorials for all the in-betweens of what I'm talking about. Now we're going to start publishing content. This is the fun part. This is the part you've all been waiting for. But you notice this is step number 7. There were so many things that you need to do before you start hitting that publish button. But now here, we're ready to start publishing. So how often should I publish? What should my publishing schedule be? There's a lot of different ways you could go about this. I am on the side of, again, remember when I started this video, I said to create a foundation to help you reach Mediavine. You can start a blog any way you want, but if your goal is to get monetized and start generating revenue with your blog, this is the way I would go about it. Don't start publishing content until you have at least 10 blog posts written. So you can write them in your WordPress dashboard or write them somewhere else. Get guest posters to help you build that content, whatever. Then when you have at least 10 of them ready to go, publish them all at once. Why? Because when you give Google a whole bunch of data at one time, it's going to have a better understanding of what your site's about, and it's going to start that indexing process a lot faster. Now, a lot of people are like, well, I need to be publishing one post every week, so I'm going to write all these 10 posts. I'm going to schedule them out for the next 10 weeks. Here's the deal. This post that you have scheduled for 10 weeks from now cannot do anything for you, cannot bear any fruit, is not going to help you get to Mediavine until 10 weeks from now, okay? The sooner you get your content written, optimized properly, publish. My second site, I actually did all guest posting, and I'll link that video in the notes as well. And I had probably 10 to 20 posts that I would receive at a time. I would get them all edited and published. There were some days I published 5 to 7 posts in a single day, and then the next day 5 to 7 more. And then I might go a month without publishing anything. But Google had so much data from me that I started getting traffic right away. Within 12 months, I actually qualified for She Media. I was at 25,000 sessions. And then I actually got Mediavine just a short time later. This is a really great strategy to kind of catapult the success you're trying to reach. If you start your blog and you started off publishing one a week, it's going to take a lot longer for you to start seeing that result, okay? Bulk publish. Get as much of it done before you even hit that go button. And again, there's lots of ways you can go about this. I understand you don't have all day to write blog posts, but you can use guest posting strategies. If you have the funds, you can pay for writers. There's a lot of freelance writers out there. So there's a lot of ways you can go about this. But again, remember, this video is about building a Christian blog that reaches Mediavine. Okay, so we're talking about, for those of you who are serious about building a consistent and profitable version of your website. All right, so there's your publishing schedule, bulk create it. Now then once you've gotten like quite a bit on there, say like 20, 30, 40 posts, whatever, to that, you can kind of lay off and then be a little more consistent in publishing, at least once a week or, even more or less. Right now for my site, I actually publish 4 new posts a month. And they are all published on the same day when my writers send them to me. And that's it. Now, I do update older content, and that's not for this video. But for your first year, get in bulk publish, get as many as you can get done at a time, and publish them as you finish them. But don't go months between times you are publishing. That's important too. If you publish 10 today, don't wait 2 to 3 months to publish 10 more. You should be doing it rather consistently in the beginning, so that Google sees that you're like not a dead site. Okay. Number 8. So we're done talking about, this is how to start your blog. So we are hitting that publish button. We have started our blog. So these next 3 things I'm going to talk about are sort of a little bonus material, a little extra stuff to keep in mind. Number 8, I'm going to call don't do these things. Okay. And Stick with me here because some of this is going to be completely contradictory to everything you've ever heard about starting a blog. The first and foremost, do not start your email list. Do not put that form on your site. Do not start collecting emails from people. But Leanne, why not? I'm actually going to link a video that explains all of that. And I'll link it in the bottom as well. The short version is, look, you're still busy trying to create and work on your blog plan. Building an email list that is actually fruitful is another plan, another framework, another blueprint that you need to map out in advance. Because if you're just collecting emails and you have no idea what you're even going to write to them, what's the point? At some point, you have to start paying for that email list, and now you're paying for something that you don't even know what you're doing. So take that extra burden off. Take that extra financial burden off because now you're not worried about paying for this thing. Don't be buying lead magnets, opt-in months, or any of the other things for building your email list. Just build your content. I promise you guys, I know what I'm talking about here. And I have lots of other Christian bloggers who can attest to this strategy. Relieve yourself of that extra task, that extra burden, and just focus on building your content. A year from now, you'll go back, assess everything you've done up to this point. Then you'll have a more clearer picture of what your audience is wanting from you. And at that time, you can start building a plan for building and nurturing your email list to where it's actually going to be fruitful. Okay. The next thing for you not to do, don't worry about social media at this point. Social media is a ball and chain. It is a time suck. And once you start sharing those posts, you start getting excited because you suddenly see traffic. And then if you don't post, you don't see traffic. That is not the kind of traffic we're seeking. We are seeking organic traffic from people literally looking for what we're writing. The less time you spend on social media in your first year, the more time you're going to have to devote to writing more content, which is what's going to bring the traffic. Okay. Now, it's okay if you like save the handles and did all the stuff, but there's no point in trying to build other platforms while you're still building this foundation. This foundation is one that will be solid. It's like, building it on the rock, and it's going to last, and it's going to be a foundation that other fruit will eventually grow from. Social media, it's great when you know what you're doing there, but you have to have a strategy. And right now, you're probably still trying to figure out exactly who and what your audience is. So just don't do it. All right, number 9, let's talk about monetization, because again, we started this video off talking about how to get to Mediavine. Notice everything up to this point had nothing to do with money. In your first year, monetization should be in a back burner. Don't do things for the purpose of monetizing. The worst thing you can do with a brand new blog is approach every single post with, how can I get an affiliate link or a product in here? Just don't do it. Write content that serves your audience, not your bank account, because oftentimes you're forcing the content that you're trying to get them to buy, whether it's affiliate links or whatever. Also, this last HCU update that happened, there was some research done on a lot of the sites that got hit really hard. And there was a common theme. Now, this isn't absolute, but for brand new blogs getting started, having that affiliate disclaimer and having a lot of affiliate links in a post actually gave negative signals to Google. Here's the deal about making money through affiliate links. There has to be traffic. People physically have to be stopping by your site to click on that link to even have a chance of it converting to a sale. If there's no traffic there, there is no chance for a sale. So don't even worry. Do not join Amazon. Do not start joining affiliate programs. Do not start putting all kinds of products and stuff in. Just write content. The content is what Google indexes. The content is what gets you sessions. The sessions are what get you into Mediavine. You need 50,000 monthly sessions to qualify for Mediavine. Now, you could qualify for other companies such as She Media at a little bit lower, but you still need traffic. So don't worry about monetizing your site during your first year. Just focus on the content. Then after 12 months, you can go back and, just like with the email, reassess, see where it might be fruitful to monetize certain types of content. And I have a whole course about monetizing. And so we're not going to talk about that too much in this video, except to say that this is number 9 on the list. Okay. Monetization is not going to happen in your first year. If you need to make money in your first year while you're blogging, get on Etsy, sell your products there. Don't worry about it for your blog. Okay, so the final step, number 10. Kind of already mentioned this a few times throughout, but the final piece is to simply let it sow. You are planting seeds. You are writing this content and putting it out there in the internet world for Google to figure out what to do with. It's not going to happen overnight. Do not be checking your analytics every day to be like, did somebody come to my blog? No, I recommend checking it once a month, on the first of the month, actually. But you have to let it sow. Even the best SEO'd website can often take 3 to 4, even 6 months to start seeing those first posts start ranking in search results. During that 12 months, you just have to keep putting content and let it simmer, let it sow for a long harvest season. That 12-month mark, so actually in the 13th month, I guess, so the next year, that is when you should start really analyzing and seeing the growth from everything you've put in. You know, gardening is a basic biblical concept. You have to plant seeds in the right soil so that they bear the fruit. There is no planet and the tree is there tomorrow. It just doesn't work that way. Okay. I promise you guys this strategy works. Again, I have 3 websites. It's not my content. I actually have writers. So without them, this wouldn't happen, but it's about the content. Like I said, I've linked all the free courses and free trainings that I have. I also do have a private Facebook. You are welcome to join that as well. You can ask me questions, get help, whatever you need. But starting a Christian blog is really, really awesome when you do it the right way. Aside from reaching people with the message of Jesus, helping them learn about the Bible, helping them find hope when they might, being a place they Google something and your post comes up and really encourages them. That's powerful, y'all. The ability to reach people in all little corners of the planet through this little screen here or through this little screen. It's amazing. And it is a wonderful way to spend your day. If your goal is to eventually leave the workplace, or like I said, if you're a stay-at-home mom just looking to find, purpose and also help provide for your family, Christian blogging is a really, really wonderful way to do that. But you have to start it off on the right foundation. So let me know if you have any questions. Drop those below. Of course, hop over to my Facebook group, as I've mentioned. Let me know, where can I help you? Where are you struggling in all of this? Are there any tutorials that you haven't found on my channel that might help you do all this stuff a little easier? Let me know. I'm here to serve. I'm here to help you grow so that we can dominate the internet for God's glory. All right, guys, let me know what you think, and I will see you guys all in the next video. Bye-bye.